Hi, everybody. It's Sally Wagner, and welcome to the High Frequency Mindset Podcast. Today, I am happy and thrilled to welcome our guest, Caterina Rando. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read better. Caterina is on a mission to teach, mentor, and support women to be themselves, do their thing, serve their people, and massively monetize their mastery. She shows women entrepreneurs how to be loud and proud about the value they bring in order to make their businesses thrive. Her clients grow, shine, expand, open themselves up to new possibilities, and take their businesses further than ever before. Caterina is all about positivity, integrity, generosity, community, and providing massive value while uplifting others. She is a sought-after speaker, event producer, and author. Her latest book is The ABCs of Public Speaking. Her book, Learn to Think Differently from Watkins Publishing, is published in over 13 countries and several languages. Caterina is the founder of the Thriving Women in Business Giving Community. This group of big-hearted women raise money for women and girls' education and entrepreneurship training. She wants women to know that they do not have to wait until they are wealthy or retired before they can embrace philanthropy. This is the clear message in the Women's Giving Circle Guide, a book she co-authored with C.J. Hayden. Caterina is also the founder of the Thriving Women in Business Center, located in San Francisco. This is an attractive and warm place for women to come and do their workshops. Caterina's plan is to open more centers throughout Northern California. Caterina is recognized for her special way of infusing business with making a difference. She has received the Extraordinary Woman Award from Developing Alliances. The American Business Women Association bestowed on her the Woman of Distinction Award, and she has also received the Limitless Woman Award from the Limitless Woman Conference. Caterina, welcome.
Thank you, Sally. I'm blessed to be with you.
And I'm so happy you're here. And there's so much to talk about. we could talk for hours and on multiple days because everything you do is just so fascinating. I want to start, though, with your book, The ABCs of Public Speaking. Can you give us a little insight into that and maybe share a couple of techniques?
Yes. The thing is that, as I'm sure everyone has heard, people are afraid of public speaking. The thing is, though, that when you're public speaking, you're using your voice, and your voice matters. And your voice is a tool to make connection, to build influence, and of course, also to get clients, if that's someone's objective. And we want to put aside any fear or be willing to be uncomfortable and do it anyway. Susan Jeffers, in her great book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. The amazing thing about fear is that when we do what makes us afraid, the fear dissipates. Now, we don't go from being scared of public speaking to soaring at public speaking in one speech. The truth is, though, the more we do it, the easier it gets. And the more we can create visibility for ourselves and use our voice for what matters to us, the more we will thrive in our life.
Absolutely. And as we were talking a little bit earlier, that implies some authenticity on our part to know what our voice is and what our message is that we want to share with the world. And
Exactly.
That's all about thriving and the things that you do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I can't say, people say, well, how do I get over my fear? The way to get over your fear is to public speak. And because the more you do it, it does dissipate. And I remember the days when I would give a talk and I would have to come home and take a nap. It took so much energy. But these days I can do tons of days of speaking, be so invigorated at the end, because one of the things about mastery, and the goal really for speaking, whatever we're doing, our coaching, the goal is really mastery, not just doing something, but mastering it. Well, the beautiful thing is that when we get to mastery, we do what we do without a lot of resource, without a lot of energy. We're having a great fun doing it, and it invigorates us. And so that is the goal for speaking, for everything we're pursuing in life. And when you get there, bing, 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 it's so wonderful.
It absolutely is. And you're so right. When you step into that voice and that place of power and mastery, as you say, it is very energizing. And that, people say, oh, how can you do so much? And look at all the things you're doing. And yet it's energizing. And
Exactly.
you want to do it because of that.
Exactly. And you know what, Sally? I have to remember that, because sometimes when people say to me, I'm doing, they say, oh my God, Caterina, you're doing so much. And I have to remember that that's their perception.
Yes.
Because for me, I don't feel like I'm doing too much. And that's because I've been doing many things for a long time. So it doesn't take a ton of preparation and resources.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the mastery, so you aren't expending all the resources that you were early on. And it's that do it consistently, do it every day, do it a little at a time until you get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I understand you have an event going on today. Could you share a little bit about
that? One of the things that I've been doing for years is teaching what I call a course called Thrive at Sales. And this is for women to let them know that they don't have to use scripts and they don't have to talk about pain points, that I really feel that creating relationships that results in people being our clients comes from talking to people and finding out where they are, where they want to be, and talking to them about possibilities and the possibilities that we can help them with. And my Thrive at Sales course has been offered many times, almost 20 times. And some of the ladies that are coaches, wanted to take it and teach it themselves. I'm doing my first Train the Trainer for the Thrive at Sales program today. And we've already been doing virtual classes and it's going wonderful. And that's the thing. Another thing, Sally, for listeners to consider. Some of your listeners have been doing their thing for so long, a very long time. They have achieved a level of mastery. And now it's time to turn around and not just teach the class, but teach other gals to teach the class.
Yeah.
And that's how we can impact even more lives.
Absolutely. You do it exponentially at that point, right? It starts getting into the realm of one to many instead of one to one.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what we want. And one to many, Sally, also means we're doing it in community. Yes. And women thrive in community. And we love to learn and connect and grow in community. And that's something I encourage everyone to shine the spotlight on, is how can you do what you do on one-on-one in community?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's such an important thing for us, because especially now, as so many of us are working from home and remotely and, all those different configurations that we have, there can be that sense that we've lost community. And community is so important to building resilience and maintaining resilience, which is one of the indicators of success, right?
Yes.
How resilient are we? So
yes,
very important.
And it's so funny, Sally, because when I started to do my own trainings, I used to be more of a runaround speaker, running around the country, speaking at companies and conferences. And when I decided, I'm going to stay put, I'm going to do my trainings here. I wanted to do my trainings. I started to do my trainings. And then the ladies, after they had took the trainings, they said to me, well, Caterina, what else you got? And what it indicated to me was, it wasn't so much the training, although of course, hopefully they got massive value. They wouldn't keep coming back, but they liked to be together. They liked the community. And that's when I realized I wasn't just delivering training. I had actually started to cultivate a community. And then I consciously cultivated my community from that point forward. And I believe, and I say, this is a big part of the value that we bring when we're offering groups. It's not just the teaching. It is the being with like-minded, like-hearted people like us, working on a journey together, and how that makes us feel not alone, how we have people to talk to, we can share resources. And the other thing, Sally, we get to encourage each other. And
Yes,
just because we're not little kids anymore doesn't mean we don't need encouragement. That encouragement is good at every age.
absolutely. It's so vital. And we all need it regardless of our age, as you said, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's such a crucial part of it, because again, as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners, we sometimes feel that we're in this thing alone, and we're not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless we're alone if we don't talk to anybody,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
alone we're alone if we set it up that way. We're alone if we believe this old adage that we have to do it ourselves.
Right.
And I think that is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, because when we do it together, we get all these other flavors that contribute to whatever it is that we're cooking up. And that is really powerful.
Absolutely is. And that belief that you just touched on is such a limiting belief.
Yes.
And then how many limiting decisions come from that belief, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
when the pandemic started, I had gotten divorced about 6 months before. My ex-husband passed away right before the pandemic, which was a big loss. Even though we were
Sure.
divorced, I still loved him very much.
Yeah.
And I had no pets, no kids, in my house, but no plants really, in my house by myself. If the Zoom lifestyle was not available, if Clubhouse, which didn't start till about a year into the pandemic, was not available, I don't know what I would have done, Sally.
Yeah.
And what I did do was I talked to all my clients, and at the time there was about 105 clients. We got on Zoom right away. I told them to begin doing Zoom workshops right away. We had Zoom community meetings every month. We had afternoon tea Zooms. Because
Yeah.
why? Because these are all ways to be together and support each other. And of course, now that we're starting to come out of the pandemic, guess what? Zoom's not going anywhere. Clubhouse is not going anywhere.
Right.
Because these are great platforms to be in community, regardless of what else is going on in our lives.
Yes. And it expands our reach and our impact.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, without this, you and I probably wouldn't be talking right now.
Exactly. And Sally, I'm going today to my center in San Francisco to do my live and in-person training. Here's the thing though, it's very clear to me. I used to do 75 days of training on the ground in a year without any challenge. Now I've got clients in Canada. I've got clients on the East Coast. I don't want to be on the ground only because then it's not available to more people like it is now. And that's what the pandemic has taught me. In fact, Sally, my limiting belief was, hey, I want to serve the ladies in the 3 area codes north and the 3 area codes south, so we can all get together and have dinner together. And yes, that's nice. I'm taking the girls to Indian food tonight, but you know what? You can have massive impact with people. You can build amazing relationships. I have a great friend in South Carolina, Gail Scott. Never even met her, but I consider her a BFF because of the virtual platforms and of course the telephone.
Of course. Yeah. And same here. I work with people all over the world. I met someone in a Zoom format a year or so ago. Recently, she was in my area, in the Tampa Bay area in Florida. We met in person, and it was
Wonderful.
as if we'd been friends forever.
I love it. It's beautiful.
What an amazing opportunity to meet people like this. And then when you meet in person, it's as if you've known each other for such a long time. So we live in an amazing age for many reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, also the other things, Sally, I like to think I look young, but I'm 56. And as I begin to think about the future, I used to have this belief, like, I'm going to be one of those old ladies in my apartment with cats, but not there's anything wrong with cats. My name's Caterina. I like cats, but the point is that I just thought that I would be lonely and alone all by myself. But what I realized is that, that's a limiting belief. And I see women 75 and older that are having thriving lives.
Yes.
And we can do that at any age.
Yeah. Yeah. We're never too old or too young to live the life that makes us come alive. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask you just if you could share a little bit, because I understand that you also do women's retreats and events. And that sounds so fascinating and intriguing to me.
Yes, Sally. I don't know how I started, but I know what happened. I went, excuse me, I went to this conference, and this lady was talking about a retreat that she was hosting. And she explained how she was doing it. And I thought, I think I could do that way better. And I just got this idea in my head that I was going to do a retreat. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The first retreat, I did it, 13 gals. I didn't make much money. I didn't make any money on the retreat. But what I made was a lot of money on what I invited them to do after the retreat. At the retreat, by the way, this is a guiding principle. At the thing, you always offer the next thing. Okay, at the thing, you offer the next thing. What happened though is it created a community with the ladies that came. They became friends. And also I saw the transformation. There's the learning that we talk about, you're going to learn some things, but the transformation is when we begin to see ourselves differently.
Yes.
And was our first retreat. We have our 10th retreat scheduled for our annual retreat. And what we do when the ladies come together, I treat them like the amazing women they are. They get gifts every day. Now, the idea is really because we don't treat ourselves as great as we could, is the idea, Sally.
Yeah.
And I want these women to raise the bar on how they see themselves and how they be with themselves. And that's part of what we do at the retreats. This is my annual, we call it the Bliss Retreat for women leaders on a mission. Mm-hmm. And then I also lead retreats for women that want to be more amazing speakers called our Speaker Mastermind. And I bliss when we do these retreats. I treat them good. They get plush robes, they get tote bags, and we love every minute of it.
It all sounds fabulous. And what you said is exactly true. We teach people how to treat us. And most importantly, we teach ourselves how to treat ourselves. And when we start treating ourselves with great value and respect, everything changes.
Exactly. And when we start to expect more for ourselves.
Yes.
And, I was in a clubhouse room yesterday. I do 2 rooms a week on Mondays and Fridays. And on Monday, it's about blissing more in your business. And one of the things we talked about was I feel that a lot of women don't dream big enough.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about being bold. And of course, being bold is about action. But before you can be bold, you have to think bold. And I think before you think bold, you dream bold. And I want to encourage people to think about, what if they knew that they could be successful? Because oftentimes we crunch or subdue our dreams because we feel like, well, I don't think I could do that. Well, we can, just maybe not today, but we can begin to figure it out because we're super smart. We can figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So true. So much information and truth compressed into what you just said.
Allie, may I ask you, is there a dream that I know it's your party, my friend, but is there a dream that you have?
Yes, several. And am moving in the right direction every day. It's amazing. That's part of it, right? Dream big, have those big ideas and goals and dreams, and then have a system and a process so that we're moving in the right direction every day.
Okay, my friend, but you're not going to tell me anything. I'll tell you what, you tell me a big dream, I'll tell you a big dream.
Okay. So my big dream is, well, golly, I guess this is kind of an intermediary dream, but
Okay.
I am planning a retreat next year.
That's
And
wonderful.
it had been planned for 2 years ago, and then we know what happened.
Yeah.
So I have some contacts with a fabulous retreat center in Italy.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's
I-
exciting.
yeah, so come with, right?
My friend, yeah, that's well, I love that idea. And yes, as soon, and by the way, let's just tell everybody, all you really need are the dates, the
Yeah,
price, the topic, and the location,
yeah,
and you can get started. People often feel like they have to have every little detail figured out. No, that's not true. You need the date, the price, the topic, and the location, and you can start to sign ladies up. I've
Yeah.
signed ladies up 16 months before a retreat started, because that gives them plenty of time to plan the time away, but also plenty of time to pay for it.
yes.
And it gives them something great to look forward to. So I love that dream, Sally. And okay, I said I would
Yes.
share one. So here's
Yes.
mine. Next year, I would like, here's the plan. Haven't taken any action yet, so I guess it's still in the dream phase, to do a cruise, 5 nights, which will be a conference, our Thriving Women in Business Conference,
Love it.
on a cruise with 10 different speakers and 100 ladies. And that's, the dream is 300, but we'll start with 100.
Yeah,
So that's my plan next April.
I love it. I love it. And leaving from where and going to where?
Round trip San Francisco, San Diego, Ensenada, back to San Francisco.
Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Well,
You're invited.
Yeah, we'll check in. One last question, if you don't mind. So in my coaching, I talk about lots of principles. I use an acronym called MSG, stands for mindset, skill set, get off your asset. And I believe that encapsulates a lot of very important ideas, right?
I love it.
So what is, if you could identify one, what overarching principle could you identify that you see played out in your life and in your business that you could point to and go, yeah, I think that really contributed to my success? Because I think other people want to hear that and see how they could apply it in their lives and their businesses.
I would say it's definitely get off your assets, Sally, because I'm a woman of action.
Yes.
I do believe action is the antidote to whatever ails us.
Yes.
Okay. That too many women, and I've seen this so much, they spend so much time in the thinking phase.
Yeah.
They spend so much time in the research phase. They want to talk to every Mary Jane and Sheila and get their opinion before they take action. And the other thing that's a limiting belief is, okay, I have to figure it out before I get started. Limiting belief alert, limiting belief alert. It is in the doing that we figure it out. Okay, let's be very clear. Any workshop, any retreat, I mean, yes, of course, we got to do some, where we're going to be and everything. Yeah. But a lot of it is going to be figured out on the ground. This is why you get there a couple days early. And the other thing is that your creative juices are not really on when you're in the research phase and the thinking phase. It's when you make a decision and you're in the action phase that turns on your creative juices and allows you to really soar.
Absolutely. I love that. It's all about taking action, because otherwise everything is just a nice philosophy.
Right. And a dream and a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got to make it happen.
Exactly. And we can make it happen. And as your listeners are listening, I hope that there's something that they will decide right now not to think about anymore, to take some action on.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Well, Caterina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. May I share that I have several free gifts
Yes.
on my links page, caterinarando.com/links. Now, we've talked about a variety of the hot topics today. I have my Blissing in Your Business checklist there. I have linked to my free workshops that I do twice a month on different topics. And there's several other great business resources there to support your listeners to thrive and bliss more in their business.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know everyone else will appreciate it, and I will be happy to put all of that in the show notes. So everybody make sure you check the show notes. You can find out more about Caterina. You can have her contacts and all of those fabulous links to the free gifts she's offering.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening. And I will tune in with you next time.